All right, we're finally live. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the podcast, which now officially has a name. We finally decided on a name. Uh, we're going to be the Ignorant Experts podcast, I hope, for the going future. So that's exciting. We made progress. We decided to do something and then kind of accomplished a goal. That's a big step for us.
Progress.
Progress.
Woo.
So we're joined by my little brother and good friend, Seth. Seth is here. Fuzz is out of town because yesterday was Thanksgiving and it's Black Friday today. So we're down to Fuzz, but we gained to Seth. So overall, there's a win. So Seth is going to be our expert today because all the guests have to do it once. So we're going to go with Blace and then we're going to go with Seth. I have Blace's topic. Zach has Seth's. Seth has no idea what's happening and it's going to be funny. I love it. So Blace.
Can't wait.
For
Wait,
the next
real quick, just a general for those just joining us. So this is the main idea of our whole podcast. This is our game we play called Ignorant Expert. The expert has 5 minutes to be an expert on a topic that they have no idea about that is supplied by one of our researchers from the previous week. And it is pretty funny usually. So just a general outline of what's going on there, and okay, there we go. Now we should be able to get started.
Thank you, Zach, for that. Blaze, for the next 5 minutes, you're an expert on everything that is the Euro slimy Lactarius. I'm banking on you not knowing what that is. I'll say it again: a Euro slimy Lactarius. Now, for the next 5 minutes, Seth, you and Zach are going to ask him questions to try and get as much knowledge out of him as you can on this subject. And I'm going to sit back and laugh.
All right, so first off, what is a Euroslamioctarius?
Lactarius. I can type in the chat.
Lactarius.
Lactarius. Okay.
I'll type in the chat.
Euroslamiolactarius. So it's. Have you ever been deep sea diving or seen it on TV?
I have a general idea of what it is.
All right.
That makes one of us.
Deep sea diving. I've never been, but I mean, it sounds like a good time. Except I hate open water, so besides the point.
So down at the very low bottom of the ocean, there's a lot of weird looking fish, and this is one of the species of fish that's down there. And it.
Interesting. So is this fish edible or is it poisonous? I know a lot of those deep sea fish have the self-preservation or like poison and stuff like that. So. Hello?
Do we lose Blaze?
I think we lost Blaze.
I can't even remember the name all the way. Like
it's in the chat.
Yeah, I typed it in the podcast research.
Oh,
that is not the correct.
No, in the text channels, Blaze.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, Discord, for being user friendly.
There's not a
Can you not see the podcast research, Blaze? You should be able to.
It's literally. I mean, I can. Right. Can you see the general chat? I can type it there.
Yeah. All right, I found it.
Excellent.
All right. So again, my question was: are they poisonous, or do they have some kind of self-defense mechanism? A lot of those deep sea creatures have that kind of self-defense mechanism, and I'm guessing Euroslamiolactarius does too.
It will generally lactate towards its enemy.
So it does produce milk.
Yes.
That was my next question. Why is it called Lactarius? Must have a milky discharge.
Is it actually slimy?
Yes, the outside and the inside.
Alright, does that have anything to do with Europeans?
Actually, not really. It was just a European guy that found it, but it's not in Europe.
So it's not in Europe.
yeah, it's not native to the European waters.
Is it a valuable fish? I mean, euro is the currency over in Europe. So is that almost like since it's owned by European, like a money fish type of thing, like a slimy, lactating money fish?
To the average person, yeah, to the average person, it's completely worthless. But to certain groups that they take a great amount of joy in consuming this fish because it's rare. It lives at the bottom of the ocean. Uh, you know, it's generally hard to procure, but it tastes terrible, and some people just really like to eat it just for the rarity, not for the actual taste or enjoyment.
So can you kind of describe what it looks like to us so like all of our listeners can kind of have an idea what a Euro slimy lactarius is?
Have you ever seen a slimy tentacle monster?
I do
Oh,
participate in the anime community.
oh, have
So
we?
yes.
So
Basically like that.
okay, wait.
So
So you're
octopus
saying it's a
like?
cephalopod? Yeah, like that.
50 seconds.
No, it's got a tail and a spine.
But it also has
So it's a
tentacles.
vertebrate.
Interesting.
Why not both?
The
So you're
first
saying
vertebrate slimy monster
Why not
fish.
both?
with tentacles. Wow, that is. I cannot believe this is my first time
How
hearing
have I
about
never
this.
heard of this thing? It sounds
Right?
awesome.
It's
Because
a scientific wonder.
it lives under a rock.
Wait.
Is his name Patrick?
No, no,
Oh,
it's
okay,
Greg.
that's
Okay.
gross. Wait, he says Brick. His name's Brick.
Greg,
Greg. Okay.
Greg. Mm.
Old Greg.
yes.
Oh.
Some of them get very. They can be very old.
How big are they? Like, are we talking about like sea monster size big, like take down ships, or are we talking about like little bitty fish?
No, it's
Hand
it's
size.
it's bite size.
All right, that was
Right.
the end of the 5 minutes there. Any final thoughts, guys, on this?
Okay,
I
so
want to know what this actually is because I don't have a clue.
Okay.
Is it bacteria?
No, it's actually a well, I mean, technically, I guess it's a fungus.
That's not a bacteria. Fungus and bacteria are different things.
They are different things. It is also known as. I'm gonna say this. And I'm pretty sure it's incorrect to pronounce it this way. It's also known as a beach milk cap.
Can we have an
spelled
image?
BECH milk cap. So it's either betch or beach, and I'm gonna pronounce it the way I want to.
Big.
Blech.
All right.
I got you. I'm working on it.
Oh, you got me.
I got you.
Okay.
So there's a link. It
It's
is
just like a mushroom.
it's
looks
just
like
a mushroom.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just a mushroom. It does produce milk. So Blaze was right on there. It does produce milk. You can
Thanks,
eat
Blaze.
it, so that's another point for him. If we are,
Is
to
it
keep
rare?
points. No, it's actually super common in England, in Britain and Ireland.
Is it worthless?
Okay.
Basically,
was it done
yeah.
by European?
Basically, yes.
Guessing it was.
Its name is
So that's another
actually Lactarius uvidus. That's like the
That is the
genus
Latin
name.
Yeah, the genus name,
Interesting.
which is fun. But it sounds kind of like just a regular old mushroom, just a milky, gross
That
mushroom.
does not sound like a mushroom.
Well, it doesn't
does
sound.
more like a fish. I think Blaze was on the right train of thought.
I like the
Okay.
I like the cephalopod with bones. The vertebrate cephalopod.
Greg. Specifically.
Greg
name Greg.
specifically.
That's just known within
My
the
name
scientific
Greg.
community. Greg.
Yeah. So,
I mean-
according to firstnature.com, you could definitely eat this, but it's like there's no reason to. It doesn't taste great.
Okay, so like that should be another point for Blaze because he was right.
Yeah.
You
He
can
did-
eat
yeah.
it.
So, but it
That's-
doesn't grow under rocks.
Hmm.
That's fine. All right, Seth,
Net
you ready?
neutral.
Yeah,
You ready for yours? Okay, I'll get you 5 minutes. 5 minutes on the clock.
I,
Is that-
I need
I'm
I
gonna
need
go ahead and
another.
You need
What's
what?
up?
Beer.
Need another beer. Okay.
Okay.
So do you get kind of the general outline of what's going to happen, Seth?
Yeah,
Okay.
you're gonna provide provide me with something I know everything about, and then
Yep.
you guys just get to ask questions.
Yep. We're really
I
just.
will tell you, Ryan is pretty brutal on his questioning sometimes. So
I'm gonna tone it down this time. The last time it's a little much, so we're gonna tone it down a little bit.
whoa. The last time was great.
I thought it was hilarious, but then like later, Fuzz and I talked about it, and he's like, parents might listen to this podcast, and I was like, you know what, you're right. You know what, you're right. So I'm gonna tone the questions down just a notch.
Just a notch.
What
Anyway,
kind of
Blaze
questions were you asking?
Blaze is back. Well, you have to watch the first podcast. I'll link it to you. 5 minutes on the clock. Blaze is back. Go ahead and give him his topic.
All right, Seth. So you are the foremost expert on the flapdoodle.
And
Okay.
go.
So is that spelled exactly as it sounds?
Yep.
I mean, of course I know.
FLAPDOODLE.
Yeah, starting off strong. With
All right.
I feel I would be remiss with. I don't know anything about a flapdoodle. I don't know what it is. I really need. I need some firsthand knowledge. Seth, what the heck is a flapdoodle?
So flapdoodle is actually a very widely known drawing technique.
Really?
Yes.
There's a
Believe it or
spelling in
not.
the general chat or the podcast research chat.
For
Which
those
you know.
wondering, it's actually one word. Flapdoodle is not two separate words. It's not flap and then doodle. It's flapdoodle. So FLAPDOODLE.
I feel like I should remove points because you're reading it. Anyway, it's a drawing technique.
Yeah.
What is it like? Okay, so what does it look like? Like, is it expressive? Are you talking like exquisite line work? Is it real simplistic? Is it super?
Oh no. So flapdoodle is a very free form type of artistic drawing. And it's just really letting the artiste just let go and almost willy-nilly type. And that's where the actual, like, the flapdoodle, you're almost like flapping your wrist back and forth to create the images. And it's actually more so like starting as a template which you can build other images on.
I'm getting real squiggly Squidward vibes from Flapdoodle. You know where he does that little dance where he waves his arms? No? Okay. I thought everyone watched SpongeBob.
No.
My bad.
So Seth,
No. Sorry, I was getting distracted. So yes, you mean Squidbob?
Sure.
Or Squid, or whatever it's called. Anyway, yes, please.
so Seth, is this type of doodling and drawing used in anime or manga?
No, that's a very similar title called Fat Doodle. It's close but distinct difference.
Fapdoodle.
So-
I'm not familiar with
Fapdoodle.
Fapdoodle.
Yeah, that's the Japanese version, as Blaze was saying.
Oh, okay.
Where is flapdoodle used?
Flapdoodle is used all around the world. I mean, it's originating specifically within the northeastern hemisphere of the United States, actually. It is a local, well, not local for us because we're all Southerners here. Hey-yo. But in terms of our nativity within the U.S., actually, specifically, if you want to get into it, New York City, surprisingly, is where it originated. By east of Flapper Genicus III.
Genicus the Third. So there's 3 generations
Flapper
of
is the
this.
first name Genicus. Yes, but the Flapdoodle did not officially start until the 3rd generation. Previous generation actually had nothing to do with arts. They were actually miners.
Really?
Mhm.
So and the name was just so strong they decided to have 3 generations of someone named Flap.
Were they perhaps
Flapper.
Japanese immigrants? Is this like a descendant of the Flapdoodle?
No, actually that was during a trip over to Japan. During the cultural exchange that did happen during the time period. That was one of when Flappergenicus III visited over there as part of the voyage. He was just doing his flapdoodle technique, and some local Japanese men saw that and were like, "What are you doing?" Because it looked it's very strange looking, right? Because the man's just flapping his wrist back and forth. They thought he was like having some kind of stroke. But he's like, no, 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 no. It's this technique I developed called the flapdoodle, and they were just captivated by it. And so they adapted it into their own to the fat doodle.
Man, I've never heard of this art style before. Is he the only?
Artist, so that's fair.
Is Flappergenicus the Third the only proprietor of this, or have other famous artists adopted this art style?
Proprietor, words, but yes, that word, yes. What is other famous artiste?
Yeah, yeah. I need like examples.
Oh, some actual examples.
Like, no, name a piece.
Picasso was actually dabbled in it. He preferred to stick to his own style, but there's a few pieces that he specifically worked with the style. They aren't any mainstream ones, as they didn't take off, unfortunately, as they differed too much from his other work.
Well, that was our 5-minute beep. So he has defended himself. I would be curious to know if Picasso actually ripped his style off of Flappergenicus III, and maybe stole some valor there. But Zach, go ahead and tell us, what the heck is this?
So, flapdoodle means nonsense. So, it basically just, the realistic meaning is, when you use it in context, is a person that's full of it, basically. Someone who's making crap up. Which, Seth was an expert flapdoodler there, so.
Got him! Nice.
Its origin is unknown. It is English. It started being used around the 1800s, so.
Not surprised. Must have
Can
fallen
also
off.
mean a fool.
I
In
mean,
the Urban Dictionary definition of it is when you're running and your doodle is flapping in the wind.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
That's a thing.
So either a fool or your doodle flapping.
Shrieking.
Yeah.
I'm not sure
Male
which
jerks.
definition I like more. We are kind of a bunch of flapdoodles, in basically every sense of the word. So, well, that was the end of the Ignorant Experts segment. Thank you, Seth, for participating. Next week, Fuzz and I will be the experts, pending Fuzz's return. Blace, you will once again give me my topic, and Zach, you'll just give, unless you want to swap out and be the expert next week.
Yeah, we can swap.
Okay, we'll do that. Now, as far as Christmas and New Year's goes, I don't really care about New Year's. We can do the podcast on New Year's as long as you guys are okay, but the Christmas does fall on a Friday, so we'll discuss how we're going to do that. We probably won't have the podcast. We won't record it on a Friday, at least. We may do it earlier in the week, but there should still be a podcast of some sort on Christmas. Anyway, open discussion. What do you guys want to talk about?
Well, as spoken about earlier, now it's time for our new segment, Juicy News.
Juicy. I like
So the juiciest tidbit of news this week is that some big Elden Ring news is coming in the next 2 weeks. And I know everyone here are frequenters of the Souls-like games, and this is the next one. But it's even more fun because the story is by our fella that did Game of Thrones. So it should be absolutely crazy. Very excited. They said the news is probably gonna be at the Game Awards. So
or the end of it will be horribly disappointing.
that is possible. In his defense, that's not his fault. That was the show writer's fault. He hadn't written the end of the book yet.
So, from my understanding, actually, the story is still within the hands of FromSoft, but what George R.R. Martin did is he created the world from which the story is taking place. So, all the ethos and all, like, the previous existing history that FromSoft typically brings to the table when they're creating their Dark Souls and Bloodborne stories, he's creating that. So, in terms of messing up the endings, that'd have to be on FromSoft. And historically, they don't mess up their endings because they're so open-ended, interpretive.
and
It
they're
kind of
unimaginably difficult. The ending
So-
boss
Most
is
pe-
usually soul-crushingly difficult.
So are they gonna fix the or make it easy to like join in, or is it gonna be like the traditional, like you have to go through like 20 hoops to get to play with your friend?
See, that's the thing. We don't really have any information yet. All we know is George R. R. Martin is involved in the world building, and it's a From Software game. And we had a little visual trailer, like, I don't know, that was years ago now,
2
2
years
years
ago.
ago, 3 years ago, or something. And that's the only news we've had up until today. That's why this is the juicy news of today, is that we're getting a big information reveal at the Game Awards on December 10th. So something to look forward to, certainly.
That's exciting.
And uh, as a newer addition to the From Software games, it started with Bloodborne of all games, and will hopefully move into the new Demon Souls. I'm actually looking forward to Elden Ring. I'm super psyched about it. Big open world like RPG From Software game is just begging for literally all of the time in my life.
Hmm.
Like all of it.
They've mentioned they're going to have villages. Zach, you can correct me on that. But I think there's going to be travel by horseback
Yep,
to different villages.
supposedly.
And
Again,
supposedly.
the only thing we know is like leaked information right now. So
That's
getting
true. It could
any
evolve into
information
that.
at all is going to be just big because we don't know anything. We literally know nothing except that it's called Elden Ring and George R. R. Martin designed the world.
For all we know, it is an open world, FromSoft made Dance Dance Revolution simulator.
Hey, I'm
Uh,
not. I mean, that could be fun. I
No,
mean, I
that
don't
would be
know.
so difficult. Are you kidding me? You would have to roll. There would be cartwheels, probably a
Your feet
backflip.
would be bleeding.
Yeah, there's no. I would not play From Software DDR. Absolutely
You
not.
have to dance through the poison alleys, through the poison dungeons. All right, guys, we got to get our game designers working on this game. I mean, I am down. Sounds like a blast.
You know what? I'll
Dance
pass.
till your feet
I'll
bleed.
pass the message
for
along.
FromSoft. Yeah. I'm just waiting for FromSoft to man up and finally do what we know they've been trying to do for a generation or so now, which is just make poison game. It's just you load up and it's just nothing but poison swamp. That's all it is. It's just a poison swamp.
Hmm,
When,
yes,
when are they
the
gonna get
original.
that? When are they
Oh,
gonna get that Shrek license?
That's what it is. They just want to remix Shrek. They're all avid Shrek fans.
yep.
Who isn't though? Like, let's be honest.
You know, I think they're making a fifth one. Or have they made a fifth?
There was a fourth one.
Yes.
I only
No,
knew
that was
about
the one when
2 of
Shrek
them.
had babies.
I thought he had babies in the second one.
If you
I
know
don't know.
which Shrek movie they had babies and you know the correct order and how many there are, make sure to leave that in the comments. I'll read them and then I'll pass the message along to everybody.
Oh well. So some other big news or big things that's happened this week. The new Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity came out this week, which is
Last
a
Friday.
prequel, or last week, a week ago today. It was, it's a prequel to Breath of the Wild for Zelda, actually. So it's based in the times before Breath of the Wild happens. So don't have much on it. It's gotten pretty good ratings from what I've seen,
It
but
is in the. I was gonna say it's in the style of Hyrule Warriors, though, not Breath of
so
the
yeah,
Wild.
it's a Musu game, but the story is a prequel to Breath of the Wild. So kind of cool. Looking forward to that.
Now
May
Zach,
wait to pick it up though.
yeah. Now Zach, do you know if the creators of the game also did the story, or was it the original creators of Breath of the Wild? Because my understanding, Hyrule Warriors was actually their own story that they
Yeah,
created.
it's
Worked
its
with
own story.
separate.
This
Okay.
is more of, this is Nintendo like had their writers write the story for this. So I mean,
Ooh, that's interesting.
yeah.
So
Some other big news for, I know we have a resident Monster Hunter in this group.
I don't know.
Um, pretty avidly the biggest Monster Hunter fan of us. The movie coming out on Christmas Day is also releasing DLC for Monster Hunter World. In a couple fights, they're bringing some of the fights to the game, so that's pretty cool. Should be interesting.
And
I've
the protagonist, right?
Does anyone else have mixed feelings about the movie and the actress choice? Like
Mila
Resident Evil's
Jovovich is a good
okay.
actress. It's just she doesn't feel fit to be in the Monster Hunter world.
I don't dislike the actress. My only issue is that she definitely feels typecast for all these B video game movies.
Like
And so it being her doesn't give me instant confidence in the quality.
In her defense, the original Resident Evil movie was awesome.
yes,
Like that is her best one, and then it got really terrible after that.
it
But
kept going downhill. Yeah.
Again,
But
as an
the
actress, I don't blame her. I
Yeah.
don't think she's bad.
the whole premise of the movie seems dumb to me. I don't know
What
why
is the
they're having to
premise?
do this. So, real world Marines get sucked into some kind of vortex and thrown out into the Monster Hunter world, and they have like all their assault rifles and stuff, and like their tanks and jeeps and stuff. It's like it's kind of not at Monster Hunter at all. I've only seen like one great sword, and that makes me sad.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, her weapon of choice is the dual blades. Is that right?
No, and every promo I've seen for it, she has a freaking assault rifle in her hands.
The character model for the one that you get to play has dual blades. So yes and no, but yeah, like on all the trailers, she's holding an assault rifle, which honestly seems like the best course of action against giant scaled creatures. You know, armor piercing rounds. You just shoot
Except
them.
they bulletproof, bruh.
Yeah, I guess they're
You ever
bulletproof.
use the guns in Monster Hunter?
Not sword.
They alright, but not great.
Not
Not
swordproof.
super effective.
How dare you? The heavy bow gun is a monster.
Alright, what other big news do we have this week that happened? Oh, Deadpool 3 got their writers announced this week. So it will be Ryan Reynolds still, but also they're adding Bob's Burgers writers, Wendy Molyneux and Lizzie, what's her last name? Lizzie
Hell
Molyneux
yes.
Logan.
Hell
So-
yes.
So, I don't know if y'all are big Bob's Burgers fan, but it's freaking funny. It's just
It could be.
funny.
Yeah,
So
it's funny.
I have an idea that they should be good. Although it is not that I am anti-female, but Deadpool is written by guys with pretty perversive humor, so it should be interesting to see how they do adding their humor to Deadpool being ladies. So
Ladies also have the potential for
Bob's
like I said,
the dark
Burgers
side.
can have some perverse stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. The first two are pretty good.
Is
There
Ryan
was
Reynolds
some
still
stuff in the
having
second one I
creative
wasn't super excited about, but overall, I enjoyed the movie.
I thought it was good. It just wasn't as good as the first one.
Yes.
That was my
It-
problem with it.
Yes.
It's always hard for a sequel.
The third's usually a lot better than the second one because they're like, oh, look where we messed up in the sequel here, and they're like, oh, we can say screw it and let's just go bigger. He does have creative freedom, I'm pretty sure, still, Seth. They said this is his baby. He kind of is the one who got. For those that don't know, Ryan Reynolds is the one who made Deadpool happen in the first place.
Yep.
He went to them and was like, we need this to happen.
Yeah. He according to Reynolds, he has been trying to play Deadpool for years. He's been trying to get this off the ground.
His personality is Deadpool.
Yeah, he is Deadpool. No one else could have played this except for maybe Jim Carrey.
I don't know. I just couldn't see anybody being Deadpool except Ryan Reynolds. Jim Carrey would be funny, though.
Yeah, I was just thinking. I was like, a Jim Carrey Deadpool would be kind of funny, but then that's kind of just the mask.
It would be a different.
Would be the mask, yeah.
Yeah, it would just be the mask again.
Yeah. So, some other big news. We finally have Cyberpunk coming out. Is it it's either next week or the week after next? Maybe. Unless they delay it again.
I'll believe it when I see it.
I can't believe that game's been in production since 2013.
I can't.
Yeah, they announced it before the PS4 came out for the PS4. And we are now on the PlayStation 5. Still no Cyberpunk.
It's so good it skips a generation.
They're like,
Really.
Yeah,
one.
I mean,
It'll play or it'll run on the PlayStation 4, but it was meant to be played on the PlayStation 5.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait until like maybe.
I would not get it on PS4.
no.
What?
I mean, first
Like,
question is obviously like, since you can customize your junk, like, are we going too small or too big? Like, that's really the question
Well,
here.
Max or
The
min?
question
You gotta
is,
pick
can
one.
you do big of futa?
Probably.
I'd imagine so.
I don't remember
The
who.
character creator, from what I've read, some people have already played like the first like 16 hours of the game, and they're only like, they said like a minuscule amount into the game. But the character creator is supposed to be incredible.
So what you're telling me is that they spent the first 15
15
and a half
hours on character
hours
creation.
on
Yeah.
the character create.
Yeah. Obviously.
Fun hearing
Yep.
here.
No,
know
Seth.
what-
I'm saying this is your game where there's so many side missions. You will never beat the game, Seth. You will never beat it.
He beat
I wanna-
Witcher
I wanna
3,
have a-
so we'll see.
Took me a solid year playing consistently, like day after day,
Only
But I
Witcher
did-
3.
only Witcher 3.
We literally never talked to Seth. Like, for a year, we couldn't talk to him. He was playing Witcher 3 and going to work. And
Hey,
playing
Seth, you want to
Witcher
hang
3.
out? No, Witcher 3.
Yeah,
I
basically.
remember we were playing Monster Hunter, and then Seth was like playing The Witcher. We were like, "Hey, Seth, how's The Witcher going?"
He's like, why? Why won't it end?
And then I bought the DLC.
Oh boy.
That went on for like another
But-
2 or 3 months.
So how was their game quality? Like,
There was at least 1 or 2 missions I remember specifically you couldn't complete, even though, just for everyone's knowledge, when I was playing the game, it was about 3 or 4 years after release. So they had plenty of time to patch out any bugs. And looking online, there was one mission specifically that had, I believe it was like a day 1 bug, where you couldn't complete it. Like you could get to the very end, but you were supposed to access this point on like a hill to open like a secret chamber, and it refused to let you access it. Like the dialogue would play, it prompt you to, you could try to click it, and nothing would happen.
I see.
And so, but again, out of like the hundreds of missions I did, almost all of them went fine. There was that one that sticks out particularly, and that might have been it. I want to say there was one more, but I can't quite think of one specifically.
so like
They are
one.
master world creators. That's what CD Projekt Red does. They are incredible at creating worlds for you to explore and be in. So
They also, yes, the world to be in, the characters, because they do make you feel your choices. Try to,
mhm.
and part of the reason it took me so long is that I would do the cowardly method of save, play out a route, reload, try the other option when I didn't like the result.
That's why you took so long, you bastard.
How dare you?
No, okay.
How
Those ones
dare you?
specifically, For those of you that should have already know, there was one mission that you had to play as Geralt, and Triss was with you, and she let herself get captured by like the witch hunters, and you had to basically sit there and go through the dialogue, and she's like, "Trust me, I got this," and you have to like act like you're being a cold dude to get information out of him while they're
She
torturing her in
doesn't
the
have
other
it.
room.
Hmm.
And so you just like every round just hear her screaming more and more, and then at the end of it, you're like, "Okay, I got my information," and then they still just start killing you. Like, well, screw that. If you're gonna attack me anyway and I have to kill you, might as well just kill you now. So reload. She didn't get tortured, and I killed them all.
Did they like actually torture her? Or was it one of those things where like they go into the next room, she kills everybody, and then she acts like she's being tortured?
No, she was being tortured.
Oh.
Like you go and you find her, and she's just like broken over in a chair, bleeding everywhere.
Like,
Like they'd ripped her nails out and such.
Yeah, they're pretty graphic in their games too. It is rated M for mature for a reason. They are rough games.
Now to be clear, they did
I thought-
not show it, but there was the audio and then like the after effects.
other big news about Cyberpunk this week was revealed. You can play as Keanu Reeves as Johnny Silver.
Yes.
He is a playable character. You can be John Wick inside Cyberpunk.
Yes. Why would you do anything else?
Can I have Keanu Reeves as my genitalia?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Probably not.
Dang it.
I don't know.
Can you make in the character creator make a clone of Keanu Reeves, and so Keanu Reeves gets to meet Keanu
Probably,
Reeves
for
in the game?
sure.
You can definitely it's a detailed character creator. So, I mean, if you have enough time and creativity, I'm sure you can do it. But that's kind of the Cyberpunk news this week. That was the big one. Everyone was psyched for. Oh my goodness, I can be Keanu Reeves. And people were just stoked.
So why would you be you when you could be Keanu?
I mean, that's real. Why would you be yourself if you can be Keanu?
Yeah.
I just really want to know when John Wick 4 is coming out.
Eventually.
They already finished filming it from what I've heard. And they started John Wick 5.
To the Google.
I need it. I need more.
They are great. Nothing.
I've still not seen the second.
20. It's projected for 2020.
They projected it. It was supposed to release at the end of this year, I think. And then COVID has destroyed all movie-going things, so they probably moved it to next year.
2021 is set to release for 2021.
Yeah. So they finished filming it this year, and they started John Wick 5. Because, I mean, Keanu is getting kind of old, so...
I was going to say
they have to continue filming.
Lionsgate has already confirmed John Wick 5, so...
Yeah, that's...
I don't know how many more he's going to do after 5, but... Anyway,
Yep.
so you linked me this earlier, Zach. The Game Awards.
Oh, yep.
And I guess the Game Awards is just the name of the company because it's the name of the website. I'm not sure who hosts it.
That is the Game Awards by Geoff Keighley. I don't remember his name. It's weird.
Is this the dude from Rooster Teeth?
Yes, he hosts it.
Okay. Honestly, I'm surprised to see Last of Us Part 2 on here a little bit.
I'm not.
It's not Game of the. I mean, it's in the running for Game of the Year. It was nominated, but from all the
going to win Game of the Year.
From all the backlash I've heard about it and how people were not happy with it, there's no way it beats out Animal Crossing.
100% it's going to beat out Animal Crossing.
Or Doom Eternal. You think?
It will beat both of those.
You think?
I would put a bet with you that Last of Us Part 2 is the Game of the Year this year.
So for everyone listening or the people who don't have the list in front of them, the candidates for Game of the Year are Doom Eternal, the Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghosts of Tsushima, Hades, Animal Crossing New Horizons, and Last of Us 2.
I think Hades is out of its breadth here. It is Indie Game of the Year for me. Like, hands down, the best Indie Game of the Year this year is Hades.
I don't know, man. It's got to compete with Among Us and Fall Guys. Even though Fall Guys isn't that great, there was another one for Indie Game of the Year.
But that didn't come out this year. How can Among Us be?
It could still win it though.
How can it win Indie Game of the Year?
So the best indie is Carrion, Fall Guys, Hades, Spelunky 2, and
I forgot Spelunky 2 came out.
Spiritfarer.
Spelunky.
So Among Us wasn't on here. Among Us was something best mobile game. That's what it was. It will beat out Genshin Impact, no problem.
I think Hades is the winner of Indie Game of the Year.
I would probably give
Fall Guys might win though, just because it's got such a huge cult following.
Fall Guys, but I don't know, man.
I'm not huge on Fall Guys, but
Ghost of Tsushima is no slouch, and honestly, the FF7 remake was good.
It was good, but
that's no slouch. I'm not.
If I had to rank these games,
I would not put Last of Us Part 2 above.
For enjoyment. Have you played The Last of Us Part 2?
No.
Or have you just heard about it?
No, I've just heard about it.
I've watched some videos.
It did everything The Last of Us 1 did, but to a better and bigger degree. Like, The Last of Us 1...
More angry lesbians!
Well, there was no angry lesbians really in the first one, so...
I've read the complaints about it and like watched some videos about it, and it part of it makes sense. Like the writing wasn't. There was a lot of plot convenience and stuff going on.
For context,
Yeah.
I think everything needs more angry lesbians.
So if I had to rank these, how I would rank them for me, I've played all of these except Doom Eternal. So I'm not.
Our Doom Eternal was fantastic.
It was supposed to be really good. Blaze played it, so he can give us a little more context on that. But
Want
I
it
would.
now.
Yeah, let me do my listing and then you can. So for me, it would be Last of Us Part 2 as the game of the year, with Final Fantasy VII as my second. This is just my personal, like, of these six, the games I would put in order. Then Hades, then Animal Crossing, then Ghost of Tsushima, then Doom Eternal. So I liked Ghost of Tsushima. I just don't think it's game of the year. It's beautiful. It just, I don't know, it gets boring. That's its biggest problem.
Blaze, are you going to defend Doom a little bit? Or give us your thoughts on it?
Doom's not gonna be the top, but it was a damn good game. They it worked. I don't remember any glitches. I remember it's basically everything that Doom 1 was, but better. Um, it was, I think, just 100%, like everything was an improvement. They didn't. I don't remember anything being really negative. The platforming was a little difficult sometimes, but after like maybe 5 deaths, then you figure it out. But um, sometimes
And you could
the
be a
platform,
Unicorn Doom guy.
yes,
Could be Unicorn Doom
you can,
guy.
or if you want Gold Doom guy, or like there's all kinds of crazy
Doom
outfits
guys.
that you can get
guys.
in and use it in game.
Doom people.
Very very heavy metal. It's like the most heavy. If
I
this
was
was
going
the
to say, the
heavy metal
soundtrack was
award,
wicked.
if they had a heavy metal award, this would be it.
I think it's actually in the sound design.
It is.
Score. Yeah, it has best score in music. It's on the listing for that too.
Yeah.
But it was really good. But I'd give it like top. Definitely a contender, but probably not number one. Um, The Last of Us. I haven't played it. It probably makes more sense going through the game, but take like just looking at some of the issues, the gripes about it are correct in some instances. Not like the killing off all the men and making all the men look terrible and then propping up the women. That's like a separate argument. Just like a lot of the plot convenience, like she's about to be killed, but then the bad guys like gets like shot off from someone off screen. Like that happens
Creating
like multiple
drama.
times, and like things like that where the hero escapes death when she should have died several times, and like the plot's just a little weird because you know they try to they're like trying to kill her, but they don't kill her, and also they did Joel dirty, and they could have had him at least die.
Spoiler alert, by the way.
Spoiler alert.
Um, It is still kind of a new game, but
Everybody knows Joel's dead.
I want to put a few things in here real quick. I didn't realize Assassin's Creed Valhalla didn't make this list. So either
I
nobody's
think it's too new.
so either nobody's played it yet and it's too new, or it was just trash
Or
to not
they
beat
didn't
out.
pay him enough.
Well, I can't speak to that, but I do. On this list, there is a best community support tab, and I think it's hilarious Destiny 2 made this list. I have a personal vendetta with Destiny 2, and I refuse to play that game anymore. So seeing it on this list is actually really hilarious to me. I'm not going to speak any more to that, but I think most of us here have had really bad run-ins.
I did
with
vote
Bungie.
on these, and I chose Fortnite. I think they have the
Bungie
best
and
community
Destiny
support. Fortnite has the best community support that every video game company should try to emulate. They do so much for their community that it is just nuts.
They make so much money, and they are slave drivers. I hear.
Oh yeah, I would not work for that company,
So, Zach,
but they should be tried to emulated.
for those that aren't, familiar with it, such as myself, what exactly do they do? Because I've not been a part of Fortnite since they scrapped the actual zombie mode. The reason I bought the game,
It's not
favorite
scrapped. It's
the
still
battle
there.
royale.
It,
Is it still there?
it's
There's no support
Yeah.
for it, but it's there.
It does
it's-
get
it's-
support. It gets updated every season.
they've got like 10 teams working on the battle royale, and they've got like one team off to the side working on zombies or something. Like it's ridiculously low amount
They
of
have
resource allocation.
huge events throughout the season, every season. They have
So-
people begged for Marvel to come into the game. Now you can be basically any superhero you could have ever thought of being in the game. You like if a gun's too powerful and the community hates it, they listen to the community and they kind of fix it, you know? It's not like I don't know, it's just another choice on this best community support is No Man's Sky, which props to them. That game sucked when it came out and it is fun as heck now. So like the turnaround and them listening to the community has been incredible for that game.
I would still say it shows as a warning to those that are looking for the early access. But with that said, as you said, Zach, from what I understand, I've not yet played it, but it is a lot closer to the game that they promised at the very beginning of this than
Yeah.
when it was first
how,
released.
how many
Blace
years?
and my
How
little
many
brother
years?
and I. It came out in 2016, I think.
That's about
Fact
4 years old, maybe.
Yeah, I'm googling now.
All right.
It came out in 2016. Yeah, August
Yeah.
12th, 2016.
All
So
right.
There's not many games that Steam was like, you know what, we messed up with this one. You want your money back? You got it.
They did that with one game, didn't they?
No Man's Sky.
Yeah, that was No
Yeah.
Man's Sky. I think that was the first time I've ever seen Steam offer refunds. Not give them out, offer them. Be like, yo, if you want to refund it, we're offering it, dude. Like I've seen like individuals getting it, or I've heard of it, but not like
You usually have to beg for a refund on
yeah.
Steam.
Like you gotta
And
fight for it, and they
were
handed
like,
it out.
We know this
dude.
game sucks, so if you want your money back, you can get your
Yeah.
money back.
And if
Anyway.
that's how you know.
To Seth's point, I bought like the friend edition where you could like get 4 copies and like have friends and go in a co-op with zombies, and I'm talking about Fortnite, and it was originally pitched as a zombie survival game, and you'd be co-op, and they abandoned that so fast and didn't give any resources to it for like a year or like some insanely long amount of time, and because the battle royale just completely took off, and it was very disappointing.
It
and
is disappointing, but the fact of the matter is, you have to go where the money is. And
No, as a business decision, I cannot fault them for it.
No.
Yeah.
As a customer, as a consumer that bought one of their products, I can.
yeah,
Yeah, for sure. And I think
they
we all
have
played it.
They fixed the glitches and stuff, you know, that plagued it at start. So I mean, it is better. They made it better. It's just
It just took them 2 or 3 years to fix that one mission that kept glitching out every time I went into it. And the
yeah, we
zombies
couldn't
mode.
progress, so we just kind of gave up
Right.
on it back
Yeah.
then. Ryan, you were saying something
I will
about Assassin's Creed. It is up for best action adventure game. So
Yeah, and best innovation.
yeah,
What's up, Seth?
I was gonna say, I will say, one complaint I will also put towards Fortnite is that minus the battle royale mode, the battle royale was a free mode that they offered, so that their practices for the skins and such make sense for it. It was typical of, a free game. However, they took those same principles and applied it to their campaign mode for the zombies, even though you had to pay. What was the exact price? Was it $20, $40?
I think it was $39.99.
Yeah, it was pretty expensive for an indie game.
Right, and then they still on top of that
Is it an indie
gave
game?
it the same.
It's by Epic.
It was well.
That's a AAA studio.
I mean, it was kind of
That makes
underground
sense.
when we got it.
It was a beta. It was in beta for like 3 years or something like
It's
that.
still in beta.
It's still in beta.
Technically, I think League is still in beta, and that game's been out for 10, so I don't know how well that holds up.
But
League of Legends 2 win, Riot. League of Legends 2 win.
League of Legends is a whole nother can of worms.
League. I don't know if we can objectively give a good review of League.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about League of Legends.
League of Legends again up for best
Best multiplayer.
best esports.
Best well, it's like the
Really?
only esport anybody cares about anymore.
That's
Yep.
sadly true.
I mean, it's probably not true, but
Well, I mean, the
Kinda
vast majority
salty.
of people.
Kind of salty that my boy isn't up for esports coach of the year. I know he hasn't coached yet, but
Bjergsen.
Bjergsen coach of the year has not
Coach
coached
of the
again
year,
yet.
not a coach yet.
If they could only like turn the salt in that game into actual salt, they could like make a giant monument that reaches to the heavens.
Well, they do that, but they do that with the money that everyone spends on skins.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
But it's been about time, and I know Seth has to go soon. If you guys want to stick around and talk about a few more things, we can. But I understand, Seth, if you got to go, it is almost 7 our time.
Yes, I'm getting the death glare from the wife, so it
Yes.
is best I
Well,
probably
tell
wrap up tonight.
Jackie that she's welcome to get on and get grilled by us anytime she wants.
Yeah, if she
I will
wants to be
share
a
that
guest,
message.
let me know, or let Zach know, let anybody know, and we will happily just ground
We will
her.
have a whole podcast. She's going to be a 50-minute expert.
Dedicated to Jackie,
Oh
yeah,
my.
the entire podcast.
She's an expert
Oh.
at Jackie.
The Jackie expert. Of
Yeah.
the will.
No, but we all really appreciate Jackie. At least I do. I'm a fan of Jackie.
I like her. She makes my friend happy. That's what matters.
Exactly.
Me heart.
I think she
Don't
needs
tell her
to
we said
drink
that.
more, but that's just me.
No.
She doesn't need to know that.
Yeah, she doesn't need to
But-
know that part. Just shh. It's between us. It's between us and the world. So unless you guys have anything else, we've been going for about 50 minutes. It's kind of long. We just kind of talked about games and stuff for forever, which is fine with me. So unless you guys have anything against it or have any closing topics, I'm going to go ahead and close this out here.
Oh, closing topic. Game that you're most looking forward to in 2021.
Good question.
I
God,
don't think
what-
Elden Ring is in that.
I was going to
discussion,
say,
by the way.
I was thinking Elden Ring.
I think that's
but
2022, 2023, somewhere in there.
I don't know, man. Maybe Breath of the Wild 2.
Ooh, Breath of the Wild 2
Ooh.
is good.
I don't know if it's
Probably
projected. I don't know if it's projected for next year or not.
I don't think Ragnarok is coming next year because the what is that? Horizon Zero Dawn comes out next fall. That's going to be their Sony's big game in the fall. So
That's
they
also what I'm looking
that was
forward
something
to.
else I meant to
Forbidden
talk
West.
about. They did put some launch windows for big games coming out for PlayStation next year. They have Ratchet and Clank coming in the spring and Gran Turismo 7 in the spring. And then they had Horizon in the fall. So I don't think we're getting God of War next year unless it's like super late in the year, maybe quarter 4.
I don't know. We'll see.
But-
So mine was maybe Breath of the Wild 2.
I have no doubts what mine is. Mine's the Hogwarts Legacy game.
Yeah.
I'm so pumped for that game. It's probably going to be disappointing because I'm so excited for it. But
That was a
I
surprise
am
one for sure.
so excited for that game. They've been talking about that game for 2 years. We had that leaked video of it like in 2017 or 18 or something. And I'm pumped. I'm a huge Harry Potter nerd though, so that's my thing.
Harry Potter podcast win. Blaze.
Cyberpunk, it depends on when it actually comes out. If a game comes out in like December, it's not reviewed in.
It'll be reviewed. The reviewers have their games. It's coming out next
Alright.
in 2 weeks. So they gave it to them a month in advance because it's that long.
It's a lot.
So next year,
goals, it's goals.
exclusively, probably Monster Hunter.
On Switch, Blaze confirmed getting a Switch. Monster Hunter Rise. What?
They'll probably do a port.
I doubt it.
They're not,
Nintendo paid for this Monster Hunter.
they said they're not gonna release any more expansions for World, but they may keep adding to it.
think we get probably in the next year or so some big news about the next generation of Monster Hunter. So PS5, Xbox Series X Monster Hunter. So
Seth, final thoughts?
Well, if we are not getting the ones I was kind of rooting for, I might have to go with Breath of the Wild 2 as well. That was definitely up there on my desire list. That came as a complete shock to me that we were actually getting a sequel for a Zelda game. Feels like a long time.
the
Really,
last one was Majora's Mask, right? That was the sequel to
a true sequel.
Ocarina of Time,
Yes.
right?
I think
And there were some others that were kind of like Game Boy Advance spin-offs using similar engines, but with different characters, like a Spirit Tracks that was for the Wind Waker, as well as I think a Four Swords type of
I don't
spiritual successor.
I don't know why they won't give us Wind Waker remake on Switch. Just give it to me already.
Just give it all to us. At this point, Nintendo just pull what a, what Microsoft and Sony have done already, which is open up their past generation library for everyone, and just say, hey, give us a subscription fee, and you can play all these old games. And
Yep.
Nintendo, if they did that, because there are some old 64 games like Battle Tanks that I would love to play.
Mm. Give me Ocarina of Time again. I love that game. I'll play through that game. I play through that game like once a year.
It's a beautiful game.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everybody for coming out and listening. We should have our normal podcast time and our normal crew next week. So until then, you know where to find us. You can find me at Neoloaf at Twitter or on Twitch when I ever decide to stream eventually, or leave a comment on the YouTube channel.
And I'm Zach. And then we had our buddy for the guest today, old Sethy boy.
Ew.
Slave.
Wait.
And last but not least, the engineer with the plan.
Please.
I like to live under a rock.
It's okay, dude. It's okay. Thanks, guys.
Rocks are comfy.